Are we ready? I'd like to welcome everybody to the Warren County Board of Supervisors meeting. Today's date is September 3rd, 2024. Would you please rise with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
McIntyre?
Here.
Peter?
Here.
Snell?
Here. Okay, are there any agenda deletions? Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have just two areas. We've got minutes, and we also have a new hire that we're putting in place here for the facilities manager. He doesn't happen to be here, does he?
Yeah, that's right here. Yep.
Would you please stand? Good.
Thank you.
Actually, is there anything that we want to say about him and his role?
When we come up to do most of the stuff on here is ours.
Okay, we'll do that then. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Great.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
McIntyre?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Snell?
Aye. Now we're going to move on to claims. Small one this month, only 100,000.
Those are good ones. I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
McIntyre?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Snell?
Aye. Now we're on to discussion regarding Cunningham service agreement at the Justice Center.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So y'all just met Zach. We're excited to have Zach here. Zach's excited to be here.
Zach, well, before we get into it, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit and some of your background and
My name is Zach Snook. I just moved here from Phoenix, where the previous 8 years I was the Director of Operational Services for a homeless and addiction recovery facility.
Great. Thank you. Well, welcome to Warren County and welcome to Iowa.
And he has two littles
Oh yes, I have a 5 and a 3-year-old.
and a very cute dog.
Yes, I have an 80-pound husky. So he's.
On the personal side, have you found a place to live yet here?
We are temporarily in a apartment until our house back in Phoenix sells, which just went on the market last week. So.
Good. Well, welcome. Thank you.
So our first agenda item is our Cunningham service agreement, which we've talked about in a couple of our work sessions. I don't know if you guys have the attachments that I sent in. The annual cost for the quarterly inspections is $14,076. For biannual inspections, it's $12,582. These are the inspections for the Justice Center. For that equipment there is also an attachment that kind of goes over what all would be inspected. The equipment and the vendor suggestion is that we go with the quarterly. That's according to the equipment that we have, that's the suggested inspection time, which isn't really a whole lot more. So that would be our suggestion, is moving forward with the quarterly inspections.
And this is as we had discussed.
Yes. And I believe one of Crystal's questions on this was the hourly rate for service, and there is a discount if we go with this, once we sign the contract.
Okay.
It goes to $98 an hour. I
Okay.
think it was like 110, 115 normal. So
Okay.
you do get that break.
Great.
Are there any other questions from the board?
No, I just, I think these are the right agreements to have, you know, relative to facilities and maintaining our equipment, our HVAC. You know, there's a lot of things going on in our facilities every day, and the more we can keep an eye on them. We do have some automation in some of these buildings now, so we can detect, but anything we can do to maintain them And I think this is a good plan. I have no questions.
And I'm sorry, just to point out, again, it's equipment at the Justice Center, which includes kitchen equipment as well.
Also, like the issue we just had recently where the blower fan or whatever was, okay.
Yes, yes.
Good.
Good, good.
Very good.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah,
Any other questions or
No.
comments?
thank you.
Do you have a motion to approve the contracts as presented?
Is that did you?
No, I'm not making
Okay,
the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Cunningham maintenance contract for the quarterly frequency, and that's my motion.
And also, there's a second part to that.
It
Well,
would-
that's my motion, so if you want to add something.
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead.
We're doing two things here, right? We're doing both the contract for the quarterly inspections and then the biannual inspection, or
so
just the
you-
quarterly?
Just the quarterly. So I just gave you the two options. One came in at the biannual, which.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
so
we say,
we will go, we have a motion here then to do the annual cost for quarterly inspections of
Right.
well, actually, it's several parts, isn't it?
So I just want to clarify, that's the 90-day basis for inspections annually, and it's $14,076. And to be paid as follows per visit, it's broken down per quarter.
correct.
Okay,
Okay, do we have a
Second.
second?
yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
McIntyre,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Snell,
Aye.
I'll get this to you after the meeting to sign, okay?
Yep, very good. Now we will move into public hearing to consider conveyance of county-owned property to Michael and Kim Boschel, 6060 138th Avenue, Indianola. Can you help us out on that?
You me.
Yes.
Could you go into public hearing?
We can move into public hearing.
I'll make a motion to go into public hearing.
A second?
Roll call.
McIntyre,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Snell,
Aye.
Good morning. This information too has been presented to the board in work sessions, but I just wanted to bring it to you formally. I'm here to ask the board to consider the sale of county-owned property to Michael and Kim Voshell, 6060 138th Avenue, Indianola. The Voshell's own property that surrounds one vacated street and then, which is Ash Street, and then two alleys. The county has no need for these streets or alleys. They sit within the middle of the Voshell's property. The Voshell's also would like parcel AC and have had the property surveyed to get us a good legal description. They've been taking care of this area in parcel AC for many years, mowing it, taking care of it, clearing trees, and would like to add it to their property. This area is in a floodplain of the Middle River. It's north of Somerset. Neither conservation nor the county engineer has expressed a need for this property or a desire to have it. Additionally, notice of this public hearing was published in the newspapers of record in Warren County as required by Iowa Code. No one has contacted me about this issue, either through email or in writing or by telephone. And I have a proposed resolution for the board.
On that resolution, if we were to go forward with this, does that require the additional readings, or do we need to bypass that?
You can waive a second and third reading.
Okay, just want to make sure as we're going through the conversation. Is there anybody else here in the audience that wishes to speak on this issue? Board members?
I have no questions.
I will say that Mike and Kim are both here in the back, so.
Okay, very good. I believe then we can have a motion. I'll move to close the public hearing, seeing that there's no additional conversation.
Second?
And we have a second. Roll call, please.
McIntyre,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Snell,
Aye. Now we are on to the actual conveyance. Is there any more discussion?
I don't see a resolution in here, Dawn.
I have one here in
Oh,
my
you
hand, and
wanna
I'm
read-
happy to read it if you'd like me to.
Would you like to read that for us, please?
I will. This is a resolution for the sale of publicly owned county property to Michael and Kim Voshell. Be it resolved, the Warren County Board of Supervisors hereby approves the sale of county-owned property legally described as follows. Parcel A, and that part of vacated Ash Street running north and south and lying between blocks 1 and 2, Gilman's Addition in Somerset, Warren County, Iowa. and the east-west alley lying in Block 1 and north of the north-south alley lying between lots 2 and lots 1 through 4 in Block 1, Gilman's addition to Somerset, Warren County, Iowa. To Kim and Michael Voshell, 660 138th Avenue, Indianola, Iowa, for $100 plus the cost of publication. Said real estate will be conveyed by quitclaim deed.
I would move the resolution as presented and also add that we would waive the second and third hearings as well. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Roll call, please.
McIntyre,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Snell,
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're on to item number 5, which is discussion regarding the MMIT copier agreement for facility manager's office with possible action.
Okay, we're back. So I put in a request to get Zach his own printer. He'll be working in the office back behind the engineer's office, and maybe he doesn't print like I do, but with bills and scanning and being able to have all of that in his space, I did reach out to Matt. Matt suggested or asked if we could use the engineer's copier. I just think it's going to be way more convenient, and then that piece will travel with him to the new location once the auditorium remodel is done. So I worked with our MMIT person, and I think you guys have a copy of the contract that they sent for $89.50 a month for 5 years.
Yep, it's,
Oh, 89.50, yes,
Yep.
I do.
Got it? Okay, from Great America?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're just asking if you would approve having that copier for him. It
Okay.
faxes, scans, prints.
What
Right.
budget does it come out of, Jane?
It'll come out of the maintenance budget.
Okay.
Okay.
And you got room in there?
Yes.
Okay.
did,
Oh, excuse me. No,
no,
go ahead.
did this contract go through IT at all? Were they able to look at it? Because normally they handle the copier.
I asked, and Matt said he was good with it, so I had Dawn do a quick review of it, but.
Super.
Yes.
That's all I need to know. Thank you.
I got a follow-up question, because that's a pretty good point. A couple years ago, we tried to consolidate, we had 3 or 4 different printer contracts. This is with our main printer company that we want to drive all our business to save money, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
That was my question. I wanted to make sure this fit with all the other stuff that we're
Yes.
doing.
That's a really good question, because we've been trying to restructure this the whole
Yes.
time we've been here almost.
Yep. Thank
So
you.
then will this come up with the other agreements during the budgeting cycle, or?
May not.
I think his name is Blake. Sorry, Blake, if I'm wrong, but he said at this point, yes, he's gonna try and roll it in, but with where we are in the contract right now, redoing all of the contracts to add this in, it was cheaper to go this route for now. So once we start looking at that, then he said we can look at rolling this in.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Any additional questions?
No, thank you.
I have no questions.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
I will make a motion to approve for Zach, what is your last name? Shook, right? Snook. Okay, thank you. For Zach Snook, our facilities manager, to enter into an agreement, a copier agreement for the amount of $89.50 per month for 60 months, as per regarding the MMIT copier agreement.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
McIntyre,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Snell,
Aye. That
I'll
that
get this
take
to
care of
you
what
to
you
sign.
needed?
Yes, I'll get this to you to sign after the meeting.
Okay, I'll sign that then, on behalf of the board. Okay, now we'll move on to the item number 6. Discussion regarding the Liberty Center assessment with possible action.
So we have talked about this at length several times in work sessions over the past probably 7 to 8 months. We, maintenance, feels that we need to do a full assessment on Liberty Center to see where we are before we start pumping any more money into it. The board gave us a healthy amount to do this assessment, as well as repairs or upgrades as a result of whatever this assessment is. The assessment is $23,612, and it's very thorough, which to my knowledge, we've never had anything like this done since we've taken it over. We do know that there are things that need to be replaced, but we would like them to do this assessment so that then they can help us prioritize what needs to be done and where that money that you guys gave will go first. They anticipate it'll take about 3 to 4 weeks before we get the report back once they do this assessment, and they're really just waiting for us to give them the go-ahead to get that started.
Okay.
I think the board, we asked for 80,000, and that's what the board gave us. This is gonna take about a quarter of that, so I do know that there are things that we have discovered that will spend that 80,000 plus. So getting this assessment done so that they can tell us these are where your priorities need to be, and then we can roll whatever can be postponed into next year's budget.
Okay. Just to give a little background for the public, this is a septic system that the DNR required the county to put in and put in at a loan, which we had the money, but they made us take out a USDA loan. And all of the persons who lived within Liberty Center had to get off of their own septic and tie into this to help pay for it. And the school has actually bought land around, so it's taking those properties out. It went with the lowest bidder, and from the very beginning, it was not a good job, and it has continued to be not a good project for Warren County. And so now we are in the septic system business, and it is not a good thing to be in, so.
Any other comments?
No.
No.
So I applaud, thank you for doing this.
Would you be willing to make a motion?
Absolutely.
And I did have Dawn review the contract, just so you know.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to enter into a contract with Bartlett and West for the Liberty Center assessment for the cost of $23,612.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Second, roll call, please.
McIntyre.
Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Snell.
Aye. Item number 7, we will consider an interfund operating transfers for secondary roads with possible action.
Hello. So this is the secondary roads transfer that was budgeted for, just enabling me to actually be able to go in and complete the transfer. Just a couple reminders. What it consisted of is a $390,000 transfer from the general fund, and then a $2.76 million transfer total from the rural basic fund. That equals a $3,150,000 total transfer to the secondary roads fund, which fits within the code for them to still get farm to market road funds. That minimum was about $3,000 less than 3.15 million.
And that's just the minimum though, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The sample resolution you have here, could you just kind of go through the various sections of that and explain how that all fits into this transfer that we're doing?
Yep, so going through, there's the $390,000 from the general basic, That, using the calculation straight out of the code, it would be 387,000, so that's just rounded up a little bit to make it a nice round number. And then 2 million from rural fund taxes. And then if you move down, the transfer equals 3.79% of the taxes, property taxes in the general basic fund, and then 99.83 of the tax payment of the rural basic fund. So the rest of the 760,000 is from funds in the rural basic fund other than property taxes. So then that gets us to the total of the 2.76 from the rural basic fund and the 390,000 from the general fund to again get us to that, make sure that the engineer can continue to receive those farm to market road funds.
Okay. Any questions?
No, thank you.
I have no questions.
Okay. Can I have a motion here to approve the interfund operating transfer to secondary road fund as presented in the resolution? I'll just read the resolution and I'll just make the motion. Whereas it is desired to authorize the budget director of Warren County, Iowa, to periodically transfer sums from the general basic fund and the rural basic fund to the secondary road fund during the 2024-2025 fiscal year, and whereas said operating transfers must be in accordance with section 331.429 and 331.432 Code of Iowa, whereas said operating transfers were budgeted and appropriated for fiscal year 2024-2025, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Warren County that section 1, I'm not going to read through it all again because you just did that, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, section 6 be accepted and approved on the third day of August.
Should be September.
Should be September, shouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to amend that to say September 2024. That is my motion to approve this resolution. Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Roll call, please.
McIntyre?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Snell?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, it's time to receive and file reports. We did receive a report from the Veterans Affairs. Any questions or things that would need to be highlighted?
Nope.
I would move that we accept the Veterans Affairs report as received and file accordingly. Do I have a second?
Second?
Roll call.
McIntyre?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Snell?
Aye. And we'll move on to Supervisor's report. Anybody, Darren, do you have anything you'd like to report?
No, thank you.
Crystal?
No, thank you.
I attended the ISAC annual meeting last week. I also had a HERDA board meeting that we had a quick discussion, an item that we needed to approve. Other than that, we've had just regular pro forma business that we've been doing here in the office. I would say this, I did go through and observe the construction that's going on here. It's wonderful to see how fast we were able to relocate the public health group into the former supervisor's offices. And I want to thank all the staff and folks that have been involved with the construction there and how quickly it got done and how well it got done. And it appears that everybody really did it without missing much of a beat. And also to see how fast the progress is being made on the future supervisors' offices that will be ready to go before year end. So I want to thank everybody for all of that work and everything that, the cooperation that's gone on with all of that. Anything else anybody else wants to add before we close?
I think those are great comments, though. I totally agree with what's going on. It's very positive.
Yeah. And it's amazing how well it fit together. Our next item is to have public input. Is there anybody here that would like to speak? You can speak up to 3 minutes. Because of requirements of open meetings law, you'll not be able to speak or comment on items that that were on today's agenda, but they may be taken up in the future. No public will be allowed on today's agenda items. Is there anybody here that would like to speak? I think we did that, didn't we? I think, didn't we close the public hearing? I think we did.
Yeah, Don,
We did it at the time.
Don asked us to. Don asked us to.
Don asked us to go into public, are you talking about the public hearing?
Yeah. Talking about getting out of it?
So what are your suggestions?
Oh, yeah, we went in the beginning. She asked us to. Yeah, no problem.
Sorry about that. We just had a little question up here, procedure question. I think we're all fine. And since there's nobody that has stepped forward, we will move on then to announcing our next meeting date will be September 17th, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. I would move to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
McIntyre?
Aye.
Peter? Aye. Snell?
Aye. We will be meeting again here in just a few minutes in closed session. We have two closed sessions today, this afternoon, or this morning, excuse me, and we'll be reconvening here at 10 o'clock.
It's better to be sure than not. No, nothing.
I was gonna send you a note. We weren't able to view the actual video part on here, so I was wanting to make sure that the public is viewed also. We're good? Okay. Okay. Normally, we could see it all.
Goodness, it was back before my time. I'm gonna say 2008.